Well, the Denver Broncos go into the offseason looking to upgrade their pass rush. Could Von Miller return to help them do just that? The Super Bowl champion Rams moved for him to help them get their hands on the Lombardi, and it worked. And there is a thought that they were set to re-sign him no matter what happened, but could they amicably part ways? There were a few teams looking to upgrade their pass rush, so Miller could go shopping. He is the top of the heap in terms of the top 10 free agents on the defensive side of the ball. Right behind him, more pass rush help in Chandler Jones, 10.5 sacks in 2021. J.C. Jackson heads the list of cornerbacks available. An absolute steal for the Patriots at his $3.4 million. He's set to cash in big time. And Tyron Matthew caps the top 10. The Honey Badger, one of the most durable pieces of the Chiefs' secondary over the last 3 seasons, playing no fewer than 94% of the defensive snaps in each season. The full list of the top 25 defensive free agents available over on CBSSports.com. For more on the crop of defensive free agents, let's have a chat with former safety and CBS Sports commentator Charles Davis. Charles, great to see you once again. Let's start at the summit here with Von Miller. Denver could use him. Giants might be interested. For you, where's the best spot for Miller?
Right where he is right now, Jeremy. I think it's the Los Angeles Rams, and very similar to last year when Tampa Bay, what's the term that Kansas City really started, run it back. That's what everyone's trying to do, right? Everybody's trying to get that second Super Bowl, because the last time we had it was New England Patriots 2003, 2004. So I think the Los Angeles Rams fits for him, right? Sean McVay made a noise about leaving. He's staying. Right? Aaron Donald, we expect him to stay even though there's noise about him leaving. Andrew Whitworth hasn't even declared he's retired yet. He said make a decision in a few weeks. This team has the look of someone who wants to run it back with the same kind of cast of characters. And for me, Von Miller staying in Los Angeles, that makes perfect sense. I'm not worried about money with him now. And going back to Denver is nostalgic, but that's not the Denver he left. It's a brand new coaching staff, brand new group, probably brand new ownership by the time he gets there. Let's leave him in Los Angeles trying to get a second ring. A third ring for himself, a second one with Los Angeles.
5 sacks in 8 regular season games, added another 4 in the postseason, 9 sacks. He fits in well with the Rams. Certainly a good shout if he ends up staying there. Let's talk about Chandler Jones next. Limited to just 5 games in 2020, but was back to being a game wrecker in 2021. Where would be a good spot for him to go?
Kansas City. And the reason I say that is because they are a team that still has Super Bowl aspirations. They got upset in the conference finals last year, been their 3rd straight going to the Super Bowl. It was their 4th straight AFC championship game, all of them in Kansas City. They are not ready to go away and go quietly into the night. And with a little bit of uncertainty with their best pass rushers of Frank Clark and their midseason acquisition of Melvin Ingram, Chandler Jones fits perfectly there. This is the type of team that loves to bring in veteran guys and plug them in and turn them loose. Andy Reid's organization, Andy Reid's team, a perfect fit for him. And they need that pass rusher because you got to go get Justin Herbert now with the Chargers, right? You got to find out what Denver's going to do. And Derek Carr, you've got to run down in your own division. Chandler Jones fits perfectly.
2021 Pro Bowler, 36 pressures, 26 quarterback hits for him. J.C. Jackson, undrafted free agent in 2018, signed with the Patriots for second-round restricted free agent money in 2021, $3.4 million. Charles, he bet on himself, and he's set to cash in. Which team is the best fit for Jackson?
As much as there's the conversation now that he is really free to go elsewhere, I still think New England's going to play it cool and find a way to keep him. I do think that J.C. Jackson ends up back with New England. There will be interest elsewhere, and rightly so. There's still going to be a question mark or two from some people about, is he truly a CB1? Stefon Diggs, he had a tough time with him a few times during the season. So people will take a look at that. But all in all, give him his due. Pro Bowl, All-Pro mention, the whole deal. I think he was second team All-Pro. But I do think that having let Stephan Gilmore get away before, this is a New England team that played its best when J.C. Jackson was locking people up. Let's see if he gets back with the Patriots again, even though he will get attention from elsewhere.
Well, and when you look at his numbers, too, I mean, the completion rate when quarterbacks threw at him was less than 50%, just under 50%, and that is certainly a number the Patriots would love to have. And you did mention Stephan Gilmore. They traded him away. Let's talk about him next with the Panthers. I mean, In the middle of last season, he arrives, didn't exactly make a splashy transition. I mean, his stock is down right now, Charles, but that might not be a bad thing for the team that you think he'd be great for, which is...
I love the way that you play the economics there, Jeremy. That is absolutely perfect. The Las Vegas Raiders. And the reason I say so is, remember, they got a free agent acquisition last year in Casey Hayward. There was a cut rate deal, and he played well above that, and he may be gone now. They struggled at the other corner all year long. They washed out on Damon Arnett as a first-round draft pick. So they don't have that usual firepower that you normally get with the Raiders playing corners. The old Al Davis man coverage with those guys. Look, Lester Hayes and Mike Haynes aren't walking through that door. Stephan Gilmore with Las Vegas Raiders trying to match up with that great track squad in Kansas City, what the Chargers are going to throw at them. I like that move there if the Las Vegas Raiders indeed go after him. And besides, the new head coach of Las Vegas Raiders, Josh McDaniels, the former offense coordinator in New England. He knows Stephan Gilmore well.
Yeah, he would be a great addition to the Raiders. And you look at the interception numbers there, 27 since 2012. Richard Sherman topping that list with 33. Well, many a Chiefs fan would argue that free safety Tyron Matthew has been the face of that Chiefs defense for the last few seasons. His versatility, certainly an attractive trait. Do you want him sticking in Kansas City, Charles, or going somewhere else?
I think he wants to stay in Kansas City. I think Kansas City wants to keep him, but we're going to play the game that they are unable to. That for once, Kansas City can't make a deal because they've made an incredible amount of deals to keep people in the fold over the last few years with Brett Veach as their GM, Andy Reid as their head coach. Phenomenal job, plus Patrick Mahomes. Even though it's a huge contract, it is team friendly and allows them to keep and acquire other people. I've got Tyron Matthew in this scenario, being a free agent, and how come the Dallas Cowboys never get that safety that they want? They do now. Remember when Earl Thomas was begging Dallas to take him? That never worked out. Well, probably for the better for them overall. Tyron Matthew goes there. Devontae Casey is there right now. I mean, they've got Jaron Curse. But Tyron Matthew in the back end of Dan Quinn's defense running the show, I think Dan Quinn would say, this is why I turned down head coaching jobs. This is why I came back to run this defense. So I'm adding number 32 to it.
And you just think the Honey Badger, I mean, it just sounds good. Sounds good with the Cowboys if he is to leave the Chiefs. The top 25 article over on CBSSports.com describes linebacker Hassan Reddick as unlocked since making the switch to the edge. Now, Charles, you have him moving away from Carolina, but staying in the division. This is a brave choice here.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Because normally you're trying your best to make sure your guys don't end up in the same division dealing with them. But when they're free agents, there's not much you can do. The Atlanta Falcons have no pass rush off the edge. They don't have much pass rush at all other than Grady Jarrett. Okay, Dante Fowler Jr. is no longer on this roster. Hassan Reddick, who has proven his wares, and as you noted, the article said unlocked, because many thought that double-digit sack season previously in Arizona was a fluke. He's gone back-to-back double digits. Atlanta sorely needs him. That would be a perfect fit for him to go to the Falcons, stay within the division, and provide that pass rush off the edge for Dean Pease, their defensive coordinator, and Arthur Smith, their head coach. If they're going to find a way to deal with Tampa, to deal with New Orleans, right, to even chase down Carolina to an extent, yeah, they need that pass rush. Hassan Reddick fits perfectly there because right now, you and I would get a tryout as pass rushers with the Atlanta Falcons.
Well, Charles, I mean, you would. I don't know about me. I certainly don't know.
I pulled a hamstring just thinking about it, all right? just the idea, my hammy just popped.
All right. Quarterback Darius Williams coming off a Super Bowl win with the Rams, and he featured opposite Jalen Ramsey. And the stats showed how much teams stayed away from Ramsey and went at Williams. I mean, the completion rate 62% when they threw at him. He's the number 5 available cornerback, Charles. Where should he go?
How about the Detroit Lions, where Dan Campbell is really putting together a good culture there? And I know it becomes an overused word. And for many people look at their overall record, they're kind of sneering a little bit by me saying what Dan Campbell's doing. But when you actually fire a coach like he did with Anthony Lynn, he demoted him from offensive coordinator. Then he was still on the staff. Then they let him go at the end of the year. And Anthony Lynn is talking about what a great job Dan Campbell did. Detroit might be a little more attractive than what people think. And remember, they need to bring Jeff Okudah, who was their first round pick 2 years ago. They need to bring him along at the corner position. Darius Williams can help that youngster grow and fit in perfectly right now because, again, they are bereft at the cornerback position. They need to deal with, obviously, Aaron Rodgers in their division because I think he's staying in Green Bay. All right. Chicago's going to have new artilleries coming at him. And, of course, you got to deal with Minnesota and Kirk Cousins. And now Kevin O'Connell is their head coach trying to unleash Justin Jefferson a little bit more. So bottom line is they need players. To me, Detroit would be a great spot for him to mentor the youngster and have a place to be a starter right out of the gate.
And you talk about going from one end of the spectrum to the other, Super Bowl champion to the Detroit Lions. All right, lastly, Jets free safety Marcus May. He'd be higher on this free agent list had it not been for that torn Achilles he suffered back in Week 9, which was, the worst possible outcome for a player playing on the franchise tag with the Jets. He might be looking to prove himself in 2022. So what's an ideal spot for him, Charles?
Well, it would be a place where they have people in place already, and it's not as much of a gamble for that team. But, boy, the payoff could be huge if he is 100% healthy. To me, it's Kansas City because I've got Tyron Matthew going, right? So if he's leaving, who's coming in to help replace him? Because otherwise your starting safeties are Juan Thornhill, who took over, about midseason last year, and Daniel Sorensen, who has proven over time he's better as a nickel or dime linebacker much more than as a safety full-time. Could you imagine Marcus May going from the Jets, where it's been a struggle to win a game, yet he's been the epitome of professionalism, to Kansas City, where the expectation is no less than AFC Championship game each and every year? That'd be a great reward for him. Plus, they would be able to take that little bit of a gamble because they do have guys in place already. But Marcus May, a big upgrade for them. They could pair him with Juan Thornhill right away, and he could step in the Honey Badger spot and be able to play. I would love that move for him if indeed it came to pass.
He is CBS Sports commentator Charles Davis, breaking down some of the top 25 defensive free agents for us. You can see the full article over on CBSSports.com. Great to see you, Charles. We are into the franchise tag window of the offseason, so here's what lies ahead. The scouting combine coming up next week, March 1st to the 7th. The legal tampering period opens on the 14th of March. And, of course, the league year and free agency begins on the 16th. Offseason workouts starting on April 18th. And then it is the NFL Draft in Las Vegas, April 28th to the 30th.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.